Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I'm your host, Venerati, and we are going to continue the Gstar All-Star Invitational Replay Series pack deal-em-a-bob. Yeah. Well, we're just going to call it All-Star. All-Star Week. It's Thanksgiving for us folk in America, so yeah, there you go. That's what's going to be going on, so that's what we're going to actually call that. So, what do we have going on here? We have NexTea spawning as the blue Zerg, and he's going to be going up against NexGenius. I know that says something different right there. Z-Nex Gstar, but it's NexGenius will be playing underneath this tag right here. He will, of course, be playing as the Protoss, and we are on Steps of War, so this is a pretty brutal map, and I say brutal because, of course, we have such a close proximity to your enemy. It is quite unnerving because the tide of battle can flip so quickly here, as if you do go knocking on the doorstep, if you do go knocking on the ramp, and you do lose just a few too many units right here, you're retreating. There's not that much time to kind of produce and to reinforce and to allow yourself to basically just gain an army, gain a foothold to where you can defend properly. So you really have to be careful, as it's really it's not like Securus Plateau where you have a mile and a half to run before you actually get to the other guy's base, or Scrap Station or Desert Oasis or whatever map you want to call as your favorite long distance running map. So right now, what do we have? We actually have NexTea choosing to one base it right now, as he does have the spawning pool well on its way. Meanwhile, over here in the base of NexGenius, we have him. We'll be walling off here. Very important, as you do not want those pesky Zerglings running by there and completely pillaging your mineral lines, as they're so fond of doing. As I mean, that's pretty much how I use my Zerglings whenever I go. Is if you can get that run by, you better get it, because you don't really get that chance very often, especially going up against higher tier people. As we will probably, yep, there we go. We see oh no, I was going to say a Cybernex core, but apparently we're going to see two gates coming down for NexGenius, and he might be seeing some early pressure from him, as we do see a Cybernex core coming down in the back, so not wanting to put it on the front, basically allowing any sort of sniping of that building, as it would keep him from building any sort of advanced buildings, as well as stalkers. Especially if you're in midway of a warp gate technology, you don't want roaches to be coming up there and sniping that, as it'd be pretty late warp gate technology if there were enough roaches to actually snipe that. We do actually have this probe hiding for its life right here, as it's stolen a patch of minerals from NexTea, and the Zerglings are coming out here and looking for it. We even have an Overlord searching for the robber, and oh wait, that was close. Yes, they actually have, yes, they have found it, and it does look like justice is about to be rid on this probe, and this probe desperately trying to get away. We do see the Zerglings kind of splitting up there, catching it there for half a second, as if you queue up these probes to go up against and try to mine minerals, you can run through the enemy, but of course it was not enough, as we did see him go ahead and was exploded into a nice puff of electric blue dust. And we do have two stalkers up here. We'll be moving out, applying pressure to these Zerglings. Of course, these Zerglings will not be able to fondly take them on. It's not a position you really want to do, as we do see NexTea kind of moving back, kind of putting himself in a position that he wants to be in, and letting himself reinforce and trying to get the surround here, as these stalkers do not have blink. We see a little bit of micro coming down from NexGenius, and we do see roaches rolling out here, so these roaches will be curb stomping these stalkers, as Stalker will not be able to get away, as a Metal Bulk Boost just popped up on these Zerglings. Now, that's actually got to be pretty weird, seeing you're going up against Zerglings on the battlefield, and beforehand they're fast, but they don't have wings, and they're not crazy rabid, I'm on cocaine, let's go shoot up on some heroin fast. But, right there, we do actually see the Zealot being sniped by these roaches. We see the Zerglings have an open door, but the pylon does go down, and we do see a sentry throwing down a ramp and basically trapping these Zerglings in place, as we did see that pylon go down as well. So, like I was saying, though, it would be very, very odd to see those wings just kind of pop out of the Zerglings. Not that Zerglings aren't unnerving enough, but, whatever. I'm going to stop ranting about that. We do actually see NexTea once again applying more pressure on the front door, trying to snipe this pylon that's just trying to be born right here. We see a second pylon coming down from NexGenius and a photon cannon, and he's digging deep. He's burrowing. Although we did see him actually cancel that pylon there as the pressure was kind of alleviated as NexGenius kind of backed off. We do actually have a few Zerglings sitting here. It was that one Zergling kind of came up there and kind of took a peek, seeing what NexGenius is up to. Right now, we do have the chrono boosting of ground weapons level 1 that will make a huge difference in the effectiveness of those stalkers against these roaches. We do have NexGenius, after applying that pressure, feeling confident in his position and will be looking to occupy his natural expansion here, and not really putting that much into his military right now, as we do see the stalkers kind of just poking around, making sure that those Zerglings aren't getting too comfortable. We have, of course, the sentries kind of backing off here. We have the stalkers as well, kind of poke around, seeing if they can find a stray overlord to snipe, seeing as they have plenty of time right now, as this no one's really going anywhere right now with this wall off right here. Of course, now Banelings would be more than happy to go ahead and blow these pylons away, but seeing as NexGenius is tired of being stuck in his own base, will be killing his own pylon and will be looking to move out here shortly. He's kind of creeping out there, trying to make sure that there's not a huge swarm of roaches or anything like that, but seeing that there's only a few picket Zerglings, will be moving out here. So NexGenius will be spawning a few roaches here, but nothing super aggressive, as yeah, he's putting down some static defenses, kind of digging in there, trying to make sure that he can actually keep his natural expansion, as these spine crawlers will be very key in doing so, although I would like to see them moved up a little bit, as this is kind of an unfortunate, uncomfortable position to be in, as you can see force fields coming down here, as you want them to be on the front line, throwing down that DPS. We do see a pylon coming up here, finishing up for NexGenius, allowing him to reinforce on the go, and right now we are seeing him with, let's go take a look, with quite a few units. We have 9 Stalkers versus 11 Roaches and 2 Zerglings, and we have 4 Zealots and 3 Sentries. So right now these Spine Crawlers will be throwing in a little bit of DPS here on these Zealots, but these Stalkers, of course, having range. We do see the Guardian Shields coming up here, trying not to allow any DPS coming down, and with more force fields, keeping these Roaches at bay. We do see NexGenius moving up here with his one Spine Crawler, trying to inch forward, not letting himself get off guard. We do see force fields coming in here, forcing these Roaches to fight alone, as their force was split in half. So NexGenius going to lose a lot of Roaches right here. We do see him actually try to snipe these sentries right here, and almost catching that one off. It only has 3 HP left, so right now, taking a look at the loss tab, we are neck and neck here, but NexGenius is not in position you want to be in, as we do see more Roaches being queued up, 18 Zerglings being queued up here, looking to throw off the pressure here. NexGenius even putting in his Queen, as she's trying to DPS down. These Zerglings getting up in the faces of these Stalkers, trying to basically soak up the damage while the Roaches DPS. We are down to 1 Spine Crawler for NexGenius right now, so NexGenius really under a lot of pressure right now, as NexGenius not looking to back up, and this one Queen getting caught out in the open, almost getting sniped right there, as she is actually finished off right there. That one Overlord as well being sniped. So NexGenius looks to be at a disadvantage right now, as he did take the expansion and decided not to one base. And these Roaches basically just forced back, as these Zerglings do move out there. We do see one Zergling going down, trying to put some pressure, forcing these Stalkers to move back ever so slightly. This one Spine Crawler continuing to tap those Zealots on the shoulder. These Stalkers, of course, able to kill these Zerglings off, as these Roaches continually moving up here, trying to apply pressure. So NexGenius forced back once again, but not forced back home, as there just isn't enough strength left in NexGenius to really move NexGenius all the way back. These Zealots will be engaging these Zerglings right there. We do see these Zerglings being chopped in half right there, and this one Spine Crawler trying to be a hero, as it doesn't have much left, and we're not seeing any love coming from any sort of Queens or anything like that. So these Roaches once again moving the forces of NexGenius back, and NexGenius just kind of sitting back and warping more units in, because hey, there is no pressure being applied on his base right now. So NexGenius really losing another Overlord right there, and I feel that he is just on a downward slope, as he is behind Harvester count wise, so his income is not going to be able to keep up with the income and production of NexGenius. So this is kind of a slow dimming of NexGenius. So NexGenius really needs to make something happen. We actually see drones being pulled off the middle line here to try to soak up some damage, and NexGenius trying to just make a real big push here. Meanwhile, letting the Spine Crawler try to mature into a full-fledged, pissed-off phallic defense, and that one Stalker going down there from the focus fire, but another roach going down, and for every roach that NexGenius loses, it's just two zealots are just right there up in the face, and we'll be applying some justice for Iris at one queen, and once again just losing the queens. The stalk or the spine crawler will be coming in here, and just pressure and pressure and pressure from NexGenius, and I don't know what NexGenius going to do right now, as NexGenius has two roaches on the field, and both of these guys are about to be handled. And this one spine crawler left out in the open. We see two roaches and 8 zerglings coming on here, and more drones coming off the mineral line. And this is not where you want to be, as these drones are the lifeline of the army. As NexGenius needs to have money to build a new army, and NexGenius is just sitting here picking off these picking off the zealots, picking off the zerglings and picking off those drones. And it does look like he will be losing his natural. And not wanting to stick around. NexGenius does tap out, as we saw NexGenius's original pressure being thrown off by NexGenius, and NexGenius just able to sit there and apply pressure to NexGenius, not allowing NexGenius to really get those economic teeth in there, and just able to fully populate his natural, as we saw the four gate power, just power overwhelming on NexGenius. So NexGenius, of course, will be losing that one. This was pretty cool matchup, especially how brutal this map is. We just saw how close and how quickly that can flip on you. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and please join me for the next ones, as there will be 2 more in between NexGenius and NexGenius. So as always, citizens, stay safe.